since I announced it. And if you haven't been waiting for it, we're glad that you're here and you can try it out. These are my creamy corn cakes. They're unusual. Usually corn cakes are flatter, more like a pancake. Oh, hello, Biscuit. She thinks my controller is a treat. Hello, sweetheart. No, that's all. That's it. So much. Anyway, they're usually about a quarter inch to a half an inch thick, like a pancake, but sometimes they're fritters and then they're thicker, but these are not fritters. These are corn cakes, and they're creamy on the inside with bursts of fresh corn that's barely cooked, and they're made with really good buttermilk too. You have to have good buttermilk for these, and they're just delicious. So I want you to try them and let me know what you think. And it's corn season right now. It's the middle of June, so I hope you can get your hands on some good fresh corn. If you're watching this later in the year, well, you can use frozen or even canned. There is some good quality canned corn out there if you have to, but I hope you can find some good fresh corn. And for my friend Pat Irwin, whose husband has corn on the cob almost every night for dinner, maybe she can try these and try something different. I do cook mine in duck fat because it makes things nice and crispy. But you know, you can find other fats that are good. And if you can't find duck fat, you can use olive oil or butter. Both make a fine crispy product too, more butter than olive oil, but you can use whatever you want. They'll still be good because the flavor is on the inside. And I hope you try them and let me know what you think. And please follow us and subscribe. It's free to subscribe, so you don't have to pay anything to do it. I have some friends that thought you had to and you don't. So anyway, come back and see us in the kitchen in just a minute and we'll get started on these. Okay, we're ready to make these corn cakes. Welcome to the Sassy Spoon Kitchen. These are creamy, delicious corn cakes, and you can make the batter up and keep it in your refrigerator for up to a week and make them any night of the week that you want to make them. I usually only do 2 at a time, and I fry mine in duck fat, but you can use butter. So I've already cut the corn off of one cob. It only takes 2 corn cobs. This is a great little tool. It's made by Oxo, and I've been using it for about 5 years. I'll put a link at the bottom for you so that if you want to buy one, you can real easily. Just click on it. Just cuts the corn right off the cob. It's so easy. No mess. It's best if you have a deep bowl like this. And we're going to mix up everything in this bowl in the end anyway, so got the corn in here, and we're almost finished with it. Got a little bit on this side. We'll go down. This is great when you're making cream corn too, because you know you have to cut a lot of corn off the cob for that. Okay, that's about it. Cut all the corn cobs you need. Corn off the cob you need. Now you can make this recipe with 1 can of corn. I would suggest that you drain it really well and you get there's a kind of a crispier corn you can get in the canned corn section, or you can use frozen corn. But if you're in an area that has fresh corn right now in June, July, or August, use that. For heaven's sakes, it takes a minute and it's really inexpensive to buy. And there's nothing more delicious than fresh corn off the cob. We have a place up here in Brevard, and their corn's not ready yet. This is from somewhere else, but it's called McCall's. And you drive up there, when you get there, they go out in the field and pick the corn for you. It is so fresh and so good. And you have to buy a dozen at a time, but so what? I mean, it's so fresh. And I have a cooler on my porch that I keep ice in, and I just keep it for corn and watermelon during the summer. And I buy a dozen every probably 5 or 6 days, in the summer, and I do all kinds of things with corn in the summer. So this is one thing that I do, and it's so delicious, and everybody loves them. So now that I've got the corn cut off the cob, we're going to mix the dry ingredients first. And this is really easy. You have half a cup of self-rising flour. And even though I use self-rising flour, I am going to add a tablespoon of baking powder. I know that sounds funny, but it adds a little extra rise to these, and it makes it really good. Then I have 3/4 cup of masa, or fine ground corn flour. Now masa is used for making tortillas or tamales. This, excuse me, is the brand that I use for this. It's a simple grocery store brand called Maseca. And it's an instant corn masa flour. It's really good, really easy to find, delicious. But if I was making tortillas, this is what I would use. This is Hacienda's chef grade masa harina. It is just so different. But for this, it doesn't matter. But if you're making tortillas, this is so different than Maseca. And I suggest you check out this website, macienda.com. My friend Rick Bayless suggested it to me. And for people that even make their own masa, they have all different kinds of corn. And you can grind it yourself, but I'm not into that. I don't have a corn grinder. But this is really premium masa. And I usually keep a couple of bags of this on hand all the time to make tortillas. So that's the scoop on masa. So we're mixing all this together. Excuse me. I took a bite of corn that got stuck in my throat. Bad me. Oh dear. Okay, so dry ingredients are mixed. Now we're into the wet ingredients. I'm going to put this butter in a frying pan and melt it, and then we're excuse me, then we're going to put it in with the eggs. I'll be right back. Okay, so this butter's melted, and I'm just going to pour it into this dish to kind of cool, because I don't want to make scrambled eggs. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to let that cool. Meanwhile, I'm going to put the chives. We have, you can, when I do herbs, I don't ever really measure fresh herbs. So it's supposed to be 2 tablespoons of fresh chives. I think this is more like 3. But I just went out and cut off some fresh chives and then cut them with scissors. So I'm going to mix those into the corn. And then this is supposed to be 1 cup of cheddar cheese. I think it's a little more like 1.5 cups or 1.25 cups. But, you know, you can always be generous with cheese, because goodness gracious, cheese is so good. I mean, you don't want to go overboard, but a little bit's okay. And then I found this seasoning that I really like a lot. It's orange pepper, and it's made by Badia, which is a Mexican or Hispanic, I should say, seasoning company. And they're actually Cuban, but they're located in Florida. And if you have a Publix grocery store near you, then they usually have a really big supply of this company, spices. And I got this at Ingles, which also is in North and South Carolina and has a lot of Badia supplies or products. And so I'm just going to put a little in there. it's black pepper with an orange seasoning, and it just has a really neat flavor. I really like it a lot. It's kind of like lemon pepper, but a little different. So you can just use black pepper if you have it, or lemon pepper. But I just like the flavor of this, and I've been using it a lot, and I really like it. Let me see what else it has in it. Ingredients are obviously in really tiny lettering. And in Spanish, so forget that. But it's good, I can just tell you that much. And I'm going to add a little Larry's garlic salt, because I think that's pretty good stuff. I use it a lot. Just a little shake or two. You can add regular salt, or you can add garlic salt. So why not add garlic salt? Just a little bit. You're not, dousing it. Just a couple shakes. Okay, now let me just say a word while I'm letting this butter cool off. A little bit about buttermilk, because we're going to add a cup of buttermilk. This buttermilk is from Mills River Creamery, which is right down the road from us. And this is so good. This is A2 for easier digestion, whatever that means. And it's RBGH free, whatever that means. But it's whole milk buttermilk, 100% cow's milk, grade A, cultured pasteurized buttermilk. And it's so thick, it's thicker than cream. It's just beautiful, beautiful buttermilk. So you can watch it when I pour it in to these eggs, how thick it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I use it for baking a lot, and it is just beautiful buttermilk. I just feel like I'm getting good stuff when I use this. Okay, I think this buttermilk, the butter is cool off enough. I can add it now. So I'm putting that in, and then we're going to fold this in with all the other stuff, and that's going to be our mix. It's going to be kind of a thick mix, but that's what we want, because we don't want little flat cakes. We want thick, creamy cakes. Okay, take these out of the sink. We're going to fold this in. And after we get this all folded in, we're going to let it sit for a few minutes, because remember, we have self-rising flour plus baking powder in here. So we want that to kind of activate before we actually make the cakes. Kind of like you would setting up a dough, but we're not. It's not really a dough, but we want it to activate. Okay, so we're just going to let it set for a little bit, and it will thicken up. And then we're going to fry these cakes up. And, oh, I forgot to, I wonder why it was looking so thin. We forgot to add the dry mix. I was thinking, boy, maybe I need to add some more flour in there. Okay, this will change the complexion of it hugely. Oh, boy. Okay, this will be much better. So, yeah. Less of a batter, more of a cake now. All right, so as soon as I get this all mixed together, we're going to let it sit. And then we'll warm up some of that duck fat in a cast iron skillet and fry these up. And they're going to be delicious, I promise you. You can add a dipping sauce or something if you want to. I don't usually. I just usually put these on the side as a side dish with some meat Tonight we're making a grilled leg of lamb, and these should go great with them, with cream spinach. So that's it, and I'll see you back at the frying pan. All right, we're ready to fry these little corn cakes up. They've been sitting for about an hour, and they're ready to go. So in they go. I'm just doing 2 of them, since there's only 2 of us here tonight. Like I said, the batter, if that's what you want to call it, batter, stays really good for about a week in the refrigerator. And I like crab cakes. So they're simmering there in that great duck fat. I will be back to you when they're finished. These babies are done, and they look perfect. There they are. Perfectly done. I'm to taste this delicious little cake. Oh! Looks like we're gonna have a thunderstorm. We better hurry up. So, here it is. A creamy little bite. Oh boy. You want one too? I used some of Duke's new product. Let me just grab it here. It's Alabama style white barbecue. Goes really well with this. I just put a little on the plate and put some fresh tarragon from my garden here on the deck. I have 3 gardens. One's on the deck. Oh, this is so good. And one's in the front yard, and one's at the community garden. So the ones here at my house are mostly things that I can snip or eat or use for cooking real quickly. The community garden is mostly things for picking, like tomatoes and peppers and fava beans. So, I hope you try this delicious corn cake. It's creamy, and every little corn kernel bursts in your mouth because it's barely cooked. So good. Try it.